all day long. Otherwise, should we segue into question mode? I don't know. Yes, yes.
Have you ever had the chance? Do you think you'd reprise your role as Dr. Robotnik?
Dr. Robotnik, only if they ask. It's like, no, I would turn them down. I wouldn't. What do you mean? That's so weird. It's hard to write that in the script. I'm just kidding. You know what? Can I tell you what a Taz script was? Oh, this, you'll get a kick out of this. They would actually send scripts to my house. Now, I don't tell everyone. Go ahead, tell them. I never read them. I never, ever read them, ever. Because I have an expression, I don't want to leave the fight in the gym. Whatever that means. But a lot of times, the first time that I'm reading it, they're being recorded. And they would actually send me, because I used to be Lurch on the Addams Family, it was X amount of years ago. And they would send me the script to read in advance.
Dang, that was a long time ago.
Lurch! And so I would read the script and it would say, well, thank God they said this. I don't want to take that cold. And then Taz, they would send me the Taz scripts. Now, Taz, I'd love to see somebody actually transcribe this. I'm going to kill a court stenographer one day, and I'm going to say, all she will get is H-A-H-A-H-A on the end, and that's it. But so what they would do is they would write ampersand, exclamation point, funny thing, semicolon, colon, slash, boom, period, question mark? And that was Taz's script, and they would pay some poor vestige, like, too much money to drive it out to my house, and here's your script, and I go, oh, well, thanks. Thank God, I want to be loading up on this all night. And so I just tend to just jump in and do it, you know, for whatever that's worth, I always joke around and say instincts are the best stinks. You know this from that. I probably just try it again. Brain card, here we go. Stop me if you've heard this before. Don't you dare. I'll break that part up too. So anybody else? Yeah, I don't know. Yes.
How do you go from like Winnie the Pooh to like Splatterhouse?
Oh man. I don't know. I had to dig a hole. We just were all, it was like in this really dark, dingy studio, and we were just in there, and I don't know. I mean, I just don't know. It's not right. It's just not right. You know? So she knows. Yeah, you had Splatterhouse at the bottom of that page. See, I don't even play these things. I should, huh? I mean, don't tell anybody. But people come up to me and they'll say a line. What? They'll say, come on, say it. Say it. Say it. What? And does this ring a bell with anybody? Go for the eyes, boo. Amazing. See, you guys, you're all insane, man. So yeah, I don't do a ton of video games, but I'm so popular. I mean, my gosh, people. I don't know. Yes.
Can you drink the Annoying Orange?
I'm sorry.
Can you drink the Annoying Orange?
Oh man, has that been on? You saw that one? I haven't seen it yet. Do I? How am I? Oh yes, I do. By the way, I thought you were saying you saw it or something because I did one of those. And it's weird. You know what they do? It's like a trend. You guys know Annoying Orange?
I haven't watched it.
How about, is that like the perfect title? Yes, you are the Annoying Orange, aren't you? Wow. And it was weird. And it was like, because I got this call a couple months ago, and they go, well, did you ever hear the Annoying Orange? No. And it's, oh yeah, it's really cool, and it's going to be on Cartoon Network or elsewhere. Yeah. And what they do is they put a dot here on your head, and a dot here, and a dot here, and you have to sit there, and you have to go even right at this camera, and you can't move. And they go, oh, by the way, you're going to have to shave. And I go, no. Yeah, well, you know, you kind of do because they film your whole face. Then they just take your eyes, and sometimes they don't even take your eyes. They just take your mouth, and they superimpose it onto an actual orange or a tomato. I think I'm a tomato and an asparagus or an oat
Sounds like
barley or
VeggieTales.
something. You know, it's like what the hell? You know, and they put that on there, and I had to shave to do it, and it was just the weirdest thing. How was it? Did you see the show? Is it on? I mean, yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but yeah, I did. The answer is yes. I guess I did the annoying orange, but I wasn't the orange. It's what?
It's funny.
Yeah, it's well named. It's really. Stop! It's not funny anymore. It really is annoying. But yes, sir.
What was it like doing the terror mask as opposed to doing all the other child characters you normally do?
I don't know, man. I just.
You have to swear.
Yeah, I know he's a potty mouth. He's not coming right in. Take that mask off and put Rick down. That's what I me and Josh Keaton, and you know, Josh is a great guy. He's Spider-Man too, and I kind of went in and did all that stuff, and I think they hired me for the gruff voice part of it, and it's like, really? Is he going to really do all this stuff? Oh, okay. I was like, well, this ain't going to be on the Disney Channel, is it? Or any other channel. But yeah, that's pretty dark stuff. I don't know. It was fun, I guess. You know, every now and then I go, oh, jeez. It's right up there with Garbage Pail Kids, which is another one of my faves. Yes, sir.
What's your favorite villain that you've done?
Oh gosh. Wow. I don't know. I did a lot of bad guys. Bad guys are kind of fun. I mean, in their own way. Well, it's definitely not splatter lip or but you know, Steel in Balto was good.
Oh,
You know, it's always good, and I always like to really, really make the bad guy a real ick prey, so that you really like to see him in pain in the end. You know? There's one coming up, Zambezia, and it's from a South African animation company. It's really cool animation. It's kind of like a cross between the Madagascar stuff and, boy, I don't know how to describe it. It's really different. They're coming up with so many brand new styles these days, but it really, really, really looks good. And it's this fictional African nation in which I play this gigantic monitor lizard who eats bird eggs. And I come up with this plan to just, seize upon all the birds' nests and this and that. And of course, Samuel L. Jackson plays the good guy. So we're both playing against type as far as I'm concerned. But he's the good guy, I'm the bad guy. He could kick my butt by frowning. How could that be? What is wrong with this picture? You know, if he yells at me, I'll poop. But it's cool. I give him hell. Okay. But that's coming out, and it's Zambezi, and I play Buzo, and he's probably one of my, I hope, new favorite bad guys. We'll talk next year after it's out. It doesn't suck. But anyway, but Buzo, he's another one. Yes. Yes. Oh, favorite. So yes. Yes.
What other voice actors do you enjoy working with most?
Oh gosh, all of them, you know. Yeah, we're all. It's pretty good. It's a cool community. No, we're not as competitive as the face guys. You know, we'll even recommend each other and things like that. Frank Welker probably couldn't be a better guy. He's the best, and he's so quiet and so unassuming. I mean, he played touch football with Elvis. Come on. I think it was in the computer wore tennis shoes or something, or
I remember that.
Yeah, with Kurt Russell. Back when Kurt Russell was Kurt Russell. But yeah, Frank's one of the great guys out there. And you know, he's a total gentleman. You know, Rob Paulson. I mean, I could be here all day. You know, Jess and Jeff Bennett and Tress McNeil and you know Nancy Cartwright, Dan Tesla, you know, just great guys. Billy West, you know, John Guy, good music and terrible. Hi. No, but we all get along really well. I think it's kind of a pretty nice community. It's not real competitive, you know. So that's good. Yes.
Are there any particularly memorable outtakes that you've been or done by accident?
Yeah. Cool. We don't have that kind of time. I can tell you, you know, this probably doesn't constitute an outtake, but it's pretty close. Carol Channing was grandmama on the Addams Family, and in Chippendale's Rescue Rangers, they wrote like a 2 or 3 little story thing. Instead of "Hello Dolly," you know, it was "Hello Doggy." It's so funny the way they do that, isn't it? But she was there, and everybody's like, "This is pretty cool," you know. Carol Channing, Miss Broadway, you know, this and that. So she's comes in the room, and she sounds, it looks just exactly like a cartoon character. This is the worst Carol Channing in the world. But she walked in, and she had on this white, and it was the definitely the 80s, like 89 or something. So you know, we all still had really hideous clothing. Sure enough, Carol was no exception. She walked in, and she had you know, padded shoulders, looked like, you know, people from Road Warrior. And so she comes in and, this is marvelous. This is great. Honey, can I sit here? You do whatever you want. You know, and so she'd sit right there. And I was Monterey Jack, and it was kind of like a takeoff on the African Queen. We were going down the river in Monterey, and her character. And she's very animated. I mean, like actual animated. She just can't stop. Then she had to take off her 40 bracelets because she sounded like a marching band. And you know, the engineer Warren, he's kind of miking her in this, and she had this thing. I guess it would, I don't know if it's crinoline. What's that? One of those really noisy fabrics where if you move, it goes. It sounded like somebody was reading a newspaper. You know, was that it? Sounds about right. Yeah. Well, it was whatever it was noisy. It wasn't quite like corduroy with the whistle britches, but it was close. and he's going, "Oh, I'm sorry, Miss Channing. You know, I'm really picking up all your things." "Well, sweetie, I have to move when I do this." And so he's okay. So he kind of gets the mic and kind of sneaks it down here, so it's not, you know, getting off. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work at all. And he's going, "I'm so sorry." And Warren, and he's waiting to start. He brought his video camera. He was so excited to see it. He goes, "Well, sweetie, don't you worry about it. Think somebody get me a hanger."
Oh, jeez. Oh, my God.
And I'm sitting there. You know, and she's got on her bra and about 5 pounds of cotton strapped under each strap of the bra. I'm trying to purge it from my. And she sat there for the next 2 hours going, "Well, sweetie."
Oh, man.
Before I stand there waiting to take this video of the great legendary Lady of Broadway. So I'm not sure if that's an outtake, but it's pretty close. Thank you, Carol. These are 2 numbers. We're sitting there doing the Addams Family, and she'd have like 2 lines. And her husband, God bless him, he looked, I swear to God, he was Thurston Howell. He wore an ascot and one of those really gay-ass blazers. You know, and he would actually sit like that, and he had an ascot on with a straight face. And he wasn't being ironic, he was dead serious. And so he would sit in there, and he was Mr. Carol Channing, and she'd be out there, and she was Grandmama, and she would do her 2 lines, and let's see, Rip Taylor, Edie McClure, Rob Paulson, Jeannie Elias, Pat Fraley, gosh, I don't forget about Nancy Lenari, and of course, John Aston played himself, that was pretty cool, you know, original Addams Family. And so Carol would do her 2 lines in the beginning, and she didn't want to leave the studio, but she was still like, 85, bless her, and she would get a little tired, so she would lay on the floor. Just lay on the floor. So we're all sitting around in the room, like maybe about the size of this area right here. Me, bing, 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 bing. Carol Channing on the floor, laying down, holding her script, just laying there with her head on the back and listening for like 4 minutes. And then the rest of the time, she was out. She was asleep. So, Edie McClure was sitting there, but no, I don't think that. Gordon Hunt's looking, answering, looking. Yeah, okay, take 3. Well, Carol! Sorry, we're just here. Can someone wake Carol up? And Edie McClure is sitting there urinating. And sure enough, and she got, is it in my line? No, honey, you were Gordon Hunt. Gordon Hunt's on. No, listen, you're snoring. You can't snore. Someone got, so Thurston came in and got her and walked her back out, and I think that constitutes another outtake. I'm not sure. Thank you, Carol. Yes?
You've been doing this for a long time. If somebody is interested in getting into voiceovers, how would you go about getting an agent?
Well, I didn't know how to do anything at the time. I don't know if there's got to be a right way to do it, but whatever do it the way I did, because I don't know if that stuff works. I think it was just, But the thing is, you make a demo tape, find out where your strengths are. Like mine, I couldn't do like a straight commercial with a gun in my head. I sounded like, yeah, coming to Bank of America, whatever. I just couldn't do it at first. So know your strengths, that's for sure. Mine were all character. It was all character driven, and so my original demo tape. And see, that's the problem. They want to hear the work that you've done, and guess what? I haven't done anything. I just showed up. So I faked it. I just pulled everything up, and I put music behind it. And I was a guy from India and a guy from Ireland, supposedly neighbors, sitting there watching TV. That was my first demo tape. A guy from India, a guy from Ireland, sitting there watching TV. And I was those 2 guys, plus all the TV commercials that were coming on. And they were flipping through the channels and this and that. And that was it. And I just made it all up and put like fake music beds underneath it and all these KTEL commercials and all this stuff. And that was how I did it. And so do that, and then cut it like in half. Because you're going to end up, it's going to be this 20-minute thing, and nobody's going to listen to it. They just won't. And you could even be Christopher Walken, and they wouldn't listen to it. So cut that down, and then at that point, that's kind of like, like if you were a model or whatever, that would be your portfolio, but you're a voice guy, so you take that, and then you take it around to agents, you shop it around, and hope they listen, and this and that, and the way I did it, I was still working in a video store in Anaheim Hills, California. And one of our customers came in, and he was like the showbiz guy that I knew, Sal Romeo, and he produced a couple of crappy horror films, Soul Survivor, whatever, in the 80s. And he was the only guy I knew, and I said, I have this demo tape, would you, not burn it or whatever? And he gave it to Don Bluth, who, Don Bluth, which was very sweet of him. And I got a call a couple of weeks later, and this guy goes, well, you don't stink, but we're not doing anything right now, and I'll hold on to it. And that's not like, don't call me, I won't call you, But he actually did pass it along to someone, and that's kind of it. It's kind of like a word of a mouth thing, I think, that kind of initially gets you going. And he sent it to a guy, Frank Brand, who was getting ready to do Dumbo Circus for Disney Channel. Disney Channel had just started up. It didn't have any programming, and they were putting on all these crappy little shows, quite frankly, in the beginning there. And I just lucked out. He said, well, he called me up, and he said, well, I'm getting ready to do all these shows, and, Don Bluth gave me his tape, and you don't stink, and you want to come up. So I went up, and I auditioned for Lionel the Lion. It was, they had to get a lion in there because it was people in costumes. It was basically Timothy from Dumbo, but you couldn't have a gigantic mouse walking around, so they just made him a lion. And I was Lionel the Lion, Dumbo's best pal.
I remember that.
And that was my first gig. And I just went up and auditioned on my day off, and he said, well, you don't suck. Yeah, I'm so proud. But, and then I got that job, and it was without an agent, but it was kind of flukish from what I understand at this point. And then I was able to get an agent because they're going, wait, you already work at home? Yeah, I'll take your money. Sure, And it's funny, we were doing 2 shows a week, and I was working like 60 hours, making whatever, and then I was working 8 hours, including driving time, and making about $250 a week more for those 8 than I was doing for the 60. And I said, I'm going to do this. I'm really smart that way. But that is definitely the way to go. And then you shop that thing around, and you work on it, and you keep going. Go to workshops, and like I said before, community theater, I think, is a great way to do it. And you're just developing chops. It's like if you were going to be for the Olympics, you'd be out running track or doing whatever it is you want to do, and just keep developing that, and keep thinking about it, and keep being a sponge. We're all sponges, and like I said, bad impressions equal new characters, and so But I think nowadays it's really getting so much harder to break into. I remember the movie Tootsie. There was a scene in there with
Old school.
Dustin Hoffman. Well, there was a scene in there, and this is like the early '80s, and Dustin Hoffman's character was an actor, and I remember him saying to his agent he needed money. He goes, I don't care, I would do voiceover. And I was thinking, I would love to do voiceover. Why is that the bottom of your barrel and my goal in life? Okay. So just keep at it, That's really the best thing to do, And I always say it takes a full-time commitment to have a part-time career. Right? Yes, Joe. Oh, it looks like we're in the home stretch. Yes, sir.
Who, me? Oh.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
This is our last question.
Yeah.
Too much fun.
Yeah. I just wanted to thank you for being a big part of my childhood. Seriously.
That was a big part of my childhood, too. We're all in this together. Thanks. All right. Are we there? Yes.
Okay, as long as we're all here,
yeah.
It's like a sneak peek, a voice in from one of your future shows coming up.
Somebody was bound to say something.
Could you give us like a sneak peek of one of your lines from a character from a show coming up soon?
Coming to a theater near you. Zambesia. Gosh,
Is there anyone else besides that, or is that just it for now?
no, there's a couple things. There's another movie out there that honestly, they haven't named it. I don't know the name of it. What's that?
It's the Monterey Jack cheese line.
Oh, gee.
It was so too fantastic that you get to meet Don Carnage like this, you know.
Oh, Don Carnage!
For me, I would envy you getting to meet me. That's him speaking, not me.
Okay, and the last one goes to. Are you a Saints fan? Oh, well, that's close enough. I see with the stripes.
During the course of your career, how did you realize that you were dead set that you wanted to be a voice actor? And was there any point in your life where you had questions about what you wanted to do?
Well, yes and no. I mean, I always knew I was going to do something. I was, I played drums and I've sung and I've painted on walls, big microphones for things. So I always kind of knew I was going to do something like that. And but this, I really did think of doing it since I was like 4. And I think sometimes, if you have that focus early, I think that's almost like a little gift in and of itself. But I knew it was going to be something. I always joke around. I say, well, I knew I wouldn't. The people say, well, what did you study in college? I didn't go to college. What the hell? They ain't going to teach me to grab me college. But you should go. That's what I tell my kids. No, you won't college. But because otherwise you might get stuck being neat. And but I used to sell encyclopedias. I was a decade on Rainbow working in the steel mill. I knew those sucked. This is so much better. I can't even begin to tell you. But no, I always had that. I always knew I was going to do something very much like this. And for a while, I wanted to be an on-camera guy, and I did like 2 or 3 things. Can't tell you how boring it is. This Paul Rodriguez special way back when, and all you do is sit. And you wait, and then you do like 3 or 4 things, and then you sit some more. And I go, well, this sucks. But I mean, they paid you, but it was like, man, I can do like 5 sessions a day instead of this one really long, boring one where I'm sitting in a room. You can only read just so many books. But so I guess short answer is that I always knew I was going to do something very, very much like this. This specifically for sure, but like I said, music or painting or something. But I'm not all that hot as a painter, so I'm glad I'm here. Thanks. Thanks, everybody. Thank you so much.
Oh man! Whoa.
I got like a good half of it actually voicing.
Oh no! I got the whole thing. That just made my day. Man.
Oh no. Well, I had to get some of those voices for Erica.
Man, I had to get the voice snippets. Oh, watch! I gotta edit a lot of stuff out.
Oh yeah. I didn't recognize that first. I'm like, okay, I'll go for a couple. I realized you did so many.
And Don Carnage, man.
Right.
He did half.